the type of poem that the country and the world needed to hear.
Were there particular images from January 6th that that were kind of foremost in your mind, or was it just the totality of the horror of the insurrection?
I'm a poet, so often I don't work in images, I work in words and text. And so what I was actually doing is, while keeping my mental sanity, looking through the tweets and the messages and the articles and seeing what stood out. And there was a line in the poem that you might have heard, which is, "We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it." And I got that actually from looking through a few tweets and a lot of people being like, wow, this is what happens when people don't want to share the country with the rest of us. And so I took that, which often became a meme on Twitter, and I put that in the poem.
It's so interesting to me that you're not thinking visual, that it's not the images that motivate you, it's the text, the words that you come across.
To me, words matter, and I think that's kind of what made this inauguration that much more sentimental and special. We've seen over the past few years the ways in which the power of words has been violated and misappropriated. And what I wanted to do is to kind of reclaim poetry as that site in which we can re-purify, re-sanctify not only the Capitol building that we saw violated, but the power of words, and to invest that in kind of the highest office of the land.
I'm going to read just the last few lines of your poem, and I apologize because I'm not going to do it justice as it should be done, but you said, "We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it." I got shivers when you said that. I mean, that is what it takes, isn't it? It's bravery. It takes bravery to see it and to be that light.
Right. Well, I think that recitation was great. I should have had you up there with me. That was amazing. But, I'm so grateful you brought up the last line. It's something that I've been seeing a lot of people repeat. And to be honest, I was concerned of whether I should include that last line of "be it" at all. I was kind of deliberating between see it, be it, free it. And then I said, you know what, we need all of these things at once. We need that cacophony. We need to realize that hope isn't something that we ask of others. It's something that we have to demand from ourselves. And that's what I wanted the poem to end on.
I had a form of dyslexia as a child and a kind of a minor speech issue, so slight little stutter. And Joe Biden has talked about this. I read that you had some form of a speech impediment or may still have, which is obviously something you would have in common with President Biden. He's talked often about overcoming it, and I understand that you use writing to cope with it, to share your voice that way. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I'm proud to be in the speech difficulty club with you and President Biden and also Maya Angelou. Growing up, I had a speech impediment, and for me, it wasn't a stutter. It was, dropping a whole swath of letters in the alphabet. So for, I want to say, most of my life, up until 2 or maybe 3 years ago, I couldn't say the letter R. Even to this day, sometimes I struggle with it, which is difficult when you have a poem in which you say rise, like 5 times. And so for me, I used writing, one, as a form of self-expression to get my voice on the page, but then it also metamorphosized into its own speech pathology. So the more that I recited out loud, the more in which I practiced spoken word in that tradition, the more I was able to teach myself how to pronounce these letters, which for so long had been my greatest impediment.
I understand. Was there? I know there were some Hamilton references today. I caught as a big fan of Hamilton, and I know Lin-Manuel Miranda also caught them because I know I saw those tweets going around. But I understand. Is there something about some of the stuff that Aaron Burr said in Hamilton that you use for your speech?
Right. So like I said, it was as recent as college that I was still struggling to say the R sound. And so one thing that I would do to try to train myself to say it is I would listen to the song Aaron Burr, Sir, which is just packed with R's. And I would try to keep up with Leslie Odom Jr. as he's, doing this amazing rap. And I'd say, if I can train myself to do this song, then I can train myself to say this letter. And so that's been a huge part of my own speech pathology. It's why I included it in the inaugural poem. Also beyond that, I think Hamilton is just such a great kind of American cultural piece of what it means to be a better country. It was really hard for me not just to like copy and paste my shot and email it to me. Like, here's my poem.
No one would have noticed. Yeah.
No one would have noticed. But I cite my sources, which is why I tweeted about Hamilton. I'm really proud that I was able to incorporate that in there.
I understand you have a mantra that you say before every reading you give. Can you reveal what that is?
Certainly. I do it whenever I perform, and I definitely did it this time. And I close my eyes and I say, I'm the daughter of black writers. We are descended from freedom fighters who broke their chains and changed the world. They call me.
Wow. Wow, you're awesome. I'm so transfixed. Liza, your mom must just be so proud of you, and your whole family, and you must be so proud of them.
Yeah, I say, I'm proud of us because this really takes a village. I have so many supporters, so many organizations that have supported me, whether it be Urban Word, the National Youth Poet Laureate Program, or White Girl LA, where I got a lot of free creative writing resources when I was that skinny girl with a speech impediment who needed a mentor. My mom is actually filming me right now as I do this interview. So like I said, it takes all of us being present and lifting me up to climb this mountain.
Well, Mom, congratulations. You've certainly done an amazing, amazing job. Lastly, Hillary Clinton tweeted a picture of you from the inauguration today saying, wasn't at the Amanda Gorman's poem just stunning? She's promised to run for president in 2036, and I, for one, can't wait. President Gorman has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Madam President Gorman, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people like the sound of that today. Thank you so much. It's just thrilling to see such a bright talent suddenly burst like a supernova. So thank you.
Thank you so much.